Good morning viewers, the Lofty Biker here. I've taken a ride down to Penryn, to Ocean Falmouth. Got a very special bike today. I'm going to take out the 2023 Bmw R1300 Gs, brand new bike. Quite a few have ridden it, but I've been looking forward to it, and I'll give you my honest opinion in just a minute. So if you're interested in the Bmw R1300 Gs, stick around. Good morning viewers, Lofty's here again. What do you think of this beast? This is the 2023 BMW R1300 Gs. A lot of people have said when they've seen the papers, they've seen the pictures, it's got a funny front end, a funny back end, it doesn't look right. What you've got to do now is you've got to take yourself back to 2003, 2004, when the 1150 went out and the 1200 came in. Now the 1200 was a game changer. It was lighter, much more powerful, much more torquey, and it had quite a lot of extra tech on it. Now bring yourself forward to 2023, and now BMW have brought this out. This is the R1300. It's a totally different bike. This is nothing like, okay, it bears a family resemblance. It's nothing like an R1200 or an R1250. They were just like little incremental upgrades, up changes. Now this is a whole brand new ball game. The trellis frame's gone. We've got this pressed steel affair here linked to the engine. We've got a cast aluminium rear subframe. The actual engine has been changed. It's been raised up. The gearbox has been placed underneath the engine. So in effect you've got a whole new machine. Yeah, gone is the trellis, all gone, everything's changed. Now the first thing you notice, it's fairly diminutive, it's quite small compared with the old one. Now don't get me wrong, there'll be a GSA coming out and that'll probably be a bit bigger, but the first impressions are it's a bit more dinky, smaller, everything all round it. So I'll just cock my leg across. It's quite easy to get across. Now as you know, I'm 6'5", 17.5 stone. Now I can easily sit down and flat foot it, no problems at all. It's quite comfortable. What I would say is it comes in 3 seat heights. There is no longer the option of having the smaller frame model. There's only one frame, this frame. But it comes in 3 different seat options: low, medium and high. This is the medium. Now me at 6'5", as I put my feet on the pegs, I can get them in no trouble, but after riding a normal GS, like a standard GS if you like, this feels a little bit cramped in the knee for me, so that extra sort of 20mm or whatever it'll be would make all the difference, make it feel more or less like an older sort of the comfort on the outgoing model if you like. The handlebars, it feels familiar, it feels like a GS. Let me just show you something. I'll put it on the centre stand for you while I'm here. So we got this little lever that comes up, and then you push your foot on. So we level it up, little push. Now it's not too bad. I should imagine when it's got 3 panniers and luggage and everything's in there, it'll be a bit more difficult. I'll just do it again just to show you. Not bad, it's okay, right? So I'm gonna get the camera and I'm gonna talk you around what's actually changed, what's different. There's quite a few differences. Okay, so I'll have a bit of a walk around, show you all the angles. So the offside, coming round the front. So the first thing that strikes you is the screen is totally different. The asymmetric headlights have gone. They've been replaced by this square affair. So it's got a single LED in the centre, and it's got some 4 day riding LEDs around the outside. Also, the other thing you'll notice, I'll come a bit closer, is the indicators have been moved into the handguards. Coming down slightly, the radiator is double the size. There's the one, there's the other. You've basically got a full-size radiator. So this bike is more or less water cooled now. It's not like the old outgoing bike, it's quite different. quite good, isn't it? I'll come up closer. This is the steel affair. So it uses the engine, the steel and the telly lever at the front as a stress member of the chassis. It does noticeably feel a bit firmer than the old model. Here's the rear job. So coming around the back, you'll notice there's no rear light. The rear light has gone altogether. Now we've got these different LEDs. They are a lot better than the old ones. I'll show you. Okay, so I'll just come around the back so you can see. There's the lights. We put the hazards on and it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. I'm not sure if we can tell from the camera, but for me, when you used to put the brake lights on and whatever with the indicators and the rear lights, you just could not see the indicators. It's much, much better. I'm going to carry on with the specs first. So this is the 2023 BMW R1300 Gs. It is a boxer twin. It's got a shaft drive, no chain. Very, very good. So what we got, 145 brake horsepower at 7,750 revs. It's an air liquid cooled 4-stroke boxer twin, as I said. We're running the shift cam lump, so it is a continuation from the 1250. The difference is this boy has got 110 foot-pounds of torque at 6,500. That is colossal. They've also, if you notice, the dipstick filler for the oil has been moved to the casing from the head, and also if you look at the front of the engine, there is now a different type of level. Instead of the old round sight glass, it's quite a vertical one. It's much better affair. Quite impressive, really. The other thing is they've actually the finish is quite a textured finish. It's really good, actually. Quite like it. Okay, so suspension. On the front, we've got an EVO telly lever. There's the spring, and there's all the operation, the gubbins underneath. I'll just go around the back and show you the back. The rear is an EVO paralever. Now this is slightly longer than the old one. They've actually shortened the wheelbase because the engine's been tucked up, and they've lengthened the swing arm. So the actual paralever is longer than the outgoing model. But of course you've got the usual benefits of having no chain. Right, wheels and tyres. On the front, pretty standard, a 120/70/19 with a Metzeler Touratech Next. We've got two 310mm discs, and for the first time ever we've got Brembo calipers. So these are actually Brembo, you can see through the other side, Brembo badged with BMW on. Now this is a first. Up until now, Brembo have never let BMW badge their calipers BMW, but they've got them. These are fantastic 4-pot radials with braided hoses, beautiful. Let's go around the back. Single side swinging arm, of course. On the rear, we are running a 170/60/17 Touratech Next, of course, with a single 285mm disc with a 2-piston BMW badged Brembo caliper. Superb. We've got an 840mm seat. As I say, there's 3 options. 23 litres of fuel, so we've actually lost a litre of fuel in the tank. Coming in at a 237 kilograms wet. Now it's the electronics that's changed as well. There's quite a bit. If you put the panniers and the top box on, we've got a central locking affair. So this little disc here, you take that off and there's some metal contact. So when you attach the panniers, you get this rather nice central locking. Fantastic. Let's just show you the dash. So instead of having the old central push button, now we're over here. So we push it once, the dash strikes into life. Basically a familiar unit that you'll be used to. They've added this one's got the sat-nav application fitted, so if you've got a nav 5, nav 6, you can just transfer it over. As I say, there's very little difference. One thing, as I say, that this has got is electric screen. How about that for the first time? So we've got this thing here, it's called the favourites button. So you press and hold, then use this button here, and you can raise the screen up. At 6'5", I would recommend the screen being up and down. Very, very simple. First time ever. Can't fault that, can you? We've also got adaptive cruise control on this bike. It's the first time they've put it. I've got to say, I've tested it. It is absolutely sublime. I'll show you in motion when we're going. There's a couple of things that I really like about it. You set the speed and you can change gear. And it won't go any closer. If you see, can you see that there's your control, and that's the distance. The adaptive will go to within 2 bars. You can set it at 3, 2 or a single, so it'll go closer or further away than the vehicle in front, which is absolutely superb. But you can change gear. It's great. It's absolutely, it's one of the things I really do like about this bike. The cruise control is amazing. We've got some modes. We've got road, dynamic, enduro and rain. I'm going to leave it in road. The suspension is set in automatic. Another little thing we've got is this little cubby hole, so you can put your phone in there. You lift this little flap and there's a USB charge underneath. There's no connection charge. It's literally a lead. You must put a lead in. It's keyless all round. Some like it, some don't. I'm not a big fan, but as I say, keyless all round. We've got heated seats and we've got heated grips. Now, one of the things about this seat is, so that comes forward and back. It's quite effective. It does work. I've got it in the back position. I'm not sure how this will infringe on the pillion when the top box is on, but I should imagine BMW are cleverer than that. As I say, it's a nice looking bike. This is the lever on the centre stand I was on about. So when the centre stands up, this little lever, you just pull the lever down and activate it, and when it's up you just push it there and you don't actually touch it with your heel. One thing I have noticed is the brake lever travels quite a long way. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see it. Seems to go down rather a long way, unless it's just me. Probably could just do with raising up slightly, but in general looks good. Shall we have a listen? Straight away you notice it's a totally different sound. This is from the cockpit, and this is from the pipe. I'll just kill it. I've got to say that's a good looking standard pipe. I wouldn't bother changing that personally. I think that looks great. Shall we listen to the horn? Pretty standard BMW horn. So what do you think in general? It's got a bit of everything, isn't it? Let me just see if there's anything I've missed. So there you are. I think I've covered everything except for the price. So the standard GS, the road version, this is the road version. These come in at £15,999. They work out about 19 grand plus luggage. So you're talking for this is the triple black, so this is a bit special. It's the triple black, so this with luggage would be about £21,500. Fabulous, isn't it? I'm going to get my hat on, give it a bit of thrash. I'll see you in a minute. Here we are down at Miler. What do you think? It's beautiful, isn't it? Let's give this GS a bit of a ride. I've been looking forward to riding this for a long time. Side stand up, push to initiate. BMW make life a ride. Okay. Good lock, good solid lock that. Slow speed riding a cinch. Let's just have a look, see if the road's clear. Yeah, we'll go before the van. A lot of leaf mould here, you've got to be careful. This bike has got so much torque compared with the old machine. So we're just coming up here now, nice and steady. I'll just put my voice down a little bit. So we're doing 20 miles an hour going uphill. How about that? It's a whole game changer. This bike is nothing like the old bike. It's got so much more. So we're in third gear. I'll just drop it down now. Here we go. Third gear, 28 mile an hour. I'm giving that about 3/4 throttle. I don't want to give it too much because the roads are a little bit greasy and it's not my bike. But here we are again. Watch this. Now I've got to say, the front end started to float then. I'm not what you call a wheelie demon. I don't do wheelies. I think they're dangerous. They're for people who know how to do them, and I'm not one of them. But I would imagine if you turned off the wheelie control or the traction control, this bike would become a little bit of an handful, a bit of a beast. So we're just going to go around the corner. See that slow speed riding. So it's sort of in town manners, if you like, where you're just tootling about. It's superb. We're international, but I'm just showing you what it's like. So we come round the bend. So we'll check this quick shifter. Okay, straight up to 60. The quick shifter, superb. Blipper. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. So we'll take a steady ride down the hill. To be honest, I find the suspension quite nice on these naturally bumpy roads, but I found it a little bit firm on the other roads. Now this has got, I'll just open my visor, it's a bit warm. This has got adaptive suspension control. So when you actually go slower than 50 clicks, which is around 31 miles an hour, the suspension drops to its lowest preload settings. So here we are in a 20 mile an hour zone. I'll just put the cruise on. There we go. 20 mile an hour, cruise control, absolutely sublime. Now if I wanted to change gear now, you'll laugh at this, watch this, into third. It's still doing 20 mile an hour in third gear, and the cruise doesn't come off. I'll drop it back, auto blip it back. You can use the clutch, you can use the quick shifter and the auto blip back. It'll change gear, it won't come out. We're all clear behind. I'll just overtake this van. So we're going to go to the top of the hill towards the Pandora. The adaptive flashing, can you see the adaptive flashing? That's because there's a vehicle in front, but we're not close enough to activate it. Now if that vehicle was to slow down slower than 20, we would start slowing down as well, which is absolutely superb, isn't it? I'll try and demonstrate it to you in a minute. Okay, we're rolling again. I do find the indicator is a little bit high for me. It's where the horn is. But if you've come from a BMW, you'd probably get used to it. I've been riding a Honda for the last couple of months. So I actually find the indicator and the horn to be slightly the wrong way round, because that's what I'm used to. So we're coming down the road. I just test this back brake. Yeah, that is absolutely superb. Can't fault the back brake at all. Here we are at the junction. We'll take a right. So I'll get up to 40. Okay, 40 mile an hour, nothing behind, front brake. Yeah, those stoppers are good. Behind, front and back. That is superb. Can't fault that at all. That would get you out of trouble, that would. So if you've come from a 1250, just slow down so I can have a chat. If you've come from a 1250, what's you really going to notice about this? Right, you're going to notice it's got a load more power. Not just a little bit. The torque that's over 100 foot-pound, the torque is everywhere. From 20 mile an hour to 70 mile an hour, you pull the throttle back and the grunt of the bike just lurches you forward. The difference between 136 brake horsepower and 145 doesn't sound a lot, but trust me, this bike is a whole different beast. It has got so much more shove and power, you just won't believe it. The brakes are typically good. The suspension does feel different. The chassis does feel different. I would say the whole setup just feels that little bit more firmer, stiffer if you like. I'm not sure whether they've altered the rake, the steering angle, that's the amount the steering, the front wheel goes forward and backwards, I'm not sure. But it just feels a different bike to ride. It's very solid. And like these roads, awful back roads. Anyway, we're going to come down onto a nice smooth surface on the A39. Okay, so we're rolling again. Coming down the hill. Nice smooth road. I'll just drop the cruise on. So we've got the cruise now set at 42. The vehicle in front's only doing 35, so we're doing 34. Can you see? He's just speeded up a little bit, so we've speeded up a little bit. Now you watch it start to slow us down. There you go, I'm not doing anything, the bike is slowing down. It's coming down to below 30. I'm going to change gear. We're in second gear. We're set at 42. We're doing 19 mile an hour. Now, I don't think it's taking over control of the vehicle. Personally, I think it's a real good safety aid. You're riding along, you're in cruise, and it just slows you. This is fantastic. To be honest, if this bike had a DCT, it would be the best machine you've ever seen. It would be absolutely phenomenal. But okay, it's got a clutch, and I don't mind clutches. I'm not anti-clutch. It's a lovely bike. I like it when you get, see the thing is, when I took the 1250 out, people say, what's the difference between the 12 and the 1250? And personally, I didn't think there was a lot of difference. It wasn't a massive game changer. But people say, what's the difference between the 1300 and the 1250? I'd say, it's a totally different bike. It's a whole new ball game. I love it. I've got to say. It's probably going to go down as bike of the year for me. So we're in a 50, so I'm going to up this. There we go, I'm going to up it to 50. Change gear. We're doing 37. I hope this shows you how good it is. Now we won't increase until the car in front increases. So hopefully when we come to the dual carriageway and I pull out, the bike will start to accelerate. Here we go, up the hill. Okay, so we'll set the cruise at 70. Or even 80. So I'm going to come in behind the car in front. Right, we're doing 57. I'm going to signal, pull out, there he goes. That's sublime, isn't it? Same again, I'll set it at 70. I'm approaching the car in front. I'm going to signal to pull out. It starts to accelerate up to 70. Change gear. We're in top. Approaching the island. I'll come in behind the car. All of a sudden, it's crazy, isn't it? Right, so we're going to go round the island. Here we go, national, so I'm going to accelerate. So national speeds in second, third gear. It's got some grunt, this, as I tell you. Now I could take it out for 3 hours, 4 hours. I could do all sorts of video and reviewing. I'm just going to slow down because we're going to drop in at 50 soon. But at the end of the day, I think you need to know what the real world differences are. So it's got a whole new suspension setup, a whole new frame, new engine, new telelever, new power lever. Like I say, it's a whole new bike. Now then, if you've got a 12-month-old GS, would I say go out and buy this? Well, to be honest, no, I wouldn't. I'd say keep your 12-month-old GS until it's 2 or 3 and you're ready to change. And I wouldn't even consider another bike. I'd buy a GS. I'd buy this. I'd buy the 1300. Now there's another version, the Trophy, which is like a rally version, which is more of an off-road bike, it's a bit more pared back. Now if that's your bag, if that's what you want, something a bit more off-road biased, well, there you go. But I do think this model, the R1300 GS, is the one most people will buy. Like I say, the 15 grand bike is the bike you can't buy, because you can't buy it. Nobody buys an unspec bike, so you've got to spec it up. And I think the cheapest you'll get away with is about 19 grand, maybe touching 20. If you want this one, the triple black, the TE, you're going to say, like I say, spend 21 and a half. It's a fabulous bike, and compared with the Ducati, it's cheaper. This is more, the power wise, this is more on the lines of the Explorer, but I think it's got more grunt. I honestly think this bike has got more grunt than the Explorer. The actual top end is similar, but let's face it, we're in the days now of speed cameras, drones, well, police traps, you name it. They're encouraging us to drive slower and slower. Now the one good thing is you can drive this bike fast, but you can also drive it slow. So we're coming along here now. We're going to enter a 30 mile an hour zone. I'm just going to click the cruise control on at 30, and I'm just going to relax. I'm not going to get done for speeding. I'm going to go through the 30 at 30 in third gear, doing 2,600 revs. What more do you want? It's good, isn't it? Sublime. Shall I show the screen while we're here? So you press and hold, and then there it comes. So I'm going to lower it down. Now if you was over in Spain and you was in a town and it was hot, just drop the screen down like that. How good's that? This favourites button at the moment is set up for, you push once and it's for the heated grips and the heated seat. So I'm going to press it and hold it. There it comes on the dash. I'm going to raise the screen. We're just approaching the National. We're clear from behind. I'm going to give it a bit of stick. Here we go. And we're straight up to 60 mile an hour, as sweet as a nut. This bike will carry 3 boxes and a pillion and you, and it'll take you all round Europe and wherever you want to go. It's a lovely bike, absolute lovely bike. Cheeky little overtake. I think I've covered most things that you'd be interested in knowing. As I say, for the big tall boys, you get the high seat. I would say if you're around 5'7" to 5'10", you stick with a medium seat, and if you're a little bit shorter, you go with a low seat. Combining the low seat and the way the suspension drops, I don't think there's a rider who couldn't actually own a GS. So it's up to you. If you're in the market for a new bike, come down to Penryn, come and see Dave or Andy, book yourself a test ride on this actual bike, the one I'm riding today. So if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more Lofty Biker videos, click on that like, subscribe, ask me a question. You know I always do my best to answer questions. We're up to 2,500 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic from our little channel. So I'm over the moon, I'm really pleased. Okay, so in summary, I've always said I'm not old enough for a GS. But to be honest, if I could try this with a high seat, I might be old enough. 10 out of 10 to BMW. They're bringing a lovely, lovely bike to the market. So get yourself on it. Anyway, I'm going to say ta-ra. I've been at it long enough now. So this is the Lofty Biker saying ta-ra for now. Ta-ra.